So tell me, what a paramedic and a student are doing out in the streets during demonstrations?
Officer, we were trying out my new project. We actually helped very many stranded patients.
Patients or demonstrators?
Demonstrators.
Good, proceed.
It was in that melee that my father was shot by a stray bullet.
Correction. Your stray father was hit by a bullet. The bullet was on its legitimate path.
Officer, my son is innocent.
Nyamaza! So tell me, what a paramedic and a student are doing out in the streets during demonstrations?
Officer, we were trying out my new project. We actually helped very many stranded patients.
Patients or demonstrators?
Demonstrators.
Good, proceed.
It was in that melee that my father was shot by a stray bullet.
Correction. Your stray father was hit by a bullet. The bullet was on its legitimate path.
Officer, my son is innocent.
Nyamaza!
That right there is just a snippet of the now controversial Right, sorry about that. That right there is the now controversial play, Echoes of War, which Butere girls might not get the chance to perform, but Huku rolls to share distribute. That's how we've chosen to show our full support of the girls and their art. Good evening and welcome back to yet another Tuesday of the Gen Z Manifesto here on K24 and Kameme TV. I'm your host, Miss Kahiro. Now this time, hey, wametuguza sisi Gen Zs direct. Yes, we are talking about the echoes of war. The echoes that have been threatened to be silenced by the big boys who can't seem to handle scrutiny too well, who don't seem to like the version of themselves they see in the mirror. And what made it worse was to have high school kids hold up that mirror audaciously. And their response so far? Tear gas, threats, and harassment. Typical behavior since June 25th. We continue to embarrass ourselves internationally because seriously, a school play really had government officials trembling. Don't we have bigger problems like having not very functional education and healthcare systems? Anyway, since we are here now, tonight, we are asking you, is the government suppressing our freedom of expression? Tuko na wasanii in studio from different fields to tell us their opinion on this matter. Also, we invite you watching us from home to indulge us. Tuambie, unaonaje historia Butere Girls na Echoes of War? Gava ina suppress freedom of expression ama wasanii ndio walichoma sana this time? Send us your message on WhatsApp. We want to hear you. Kagina, unaonaje history?
To me this appears like unajua tunasema sanaa ni kioo cha jamii. But inakaa jamii haijapenda chenye imeona.
Imekataa.
Sasa imejam. Wataka kuvunja kioo. So we'll be delving into this conversation leo with a couple of wasanii sasa. Watuambie how do they feel? Do they feel their voice is being muffled in terms of their freedom of expression in the space of art? Or is the government really justified in the course it has taken? Yes. And indeed, we also have Majibu kwa ground who is on standby. He'll be telling us what he has there.
Our fellow actor. Kwanza the actors here should rate us. Tumejitolea sana.
Hapa kwa hapo na credits za cast.
You know?
Starring.
Majibu kwa ground, are you with us?
Yes, Miss K na Kagina na wapata kabisa. Mimi waambia watu hakuna shughuli. Kila Tuesday shughuli ni moja, the Gen Z Manifesto peke yake. Hakuna shughuli nyingine, show ni moja, Gen Z Manifesto. Vile umesema mazee, tunauliza gava mazee ina suppress your freedom of expression? Ndio swali. Ukichekea story ya Butere, kwanza kuna ngoma moja at the band, Mungu ipenda sana mazee. Kuna line moja hapo hatari inasema So unajua mlevi akiongea ukweli atambua ni ulevi, na mtoto akijaribu kukosoa mtu mzima si atambua ni utoto. Sijui kama ni the same case na watu ya Butere, azini watoi walikosoa mtu mzima wakaambia hiyo ni utoto, ngoja tupata ukweli wa hiyo yote mazee. Nitakuwa na bonga na majenzi wamekuja kwa wingi, na pia maakta mazee wenye kwa studio watuambia ukweli mazee, hiyo kuji express through art. Tunaambiwa art ni kioo cha jamii mazee, usanii kioo cha jamii, na vile tulisema gava mazee inatumia silaha kupiga wasanii. Nitakuwa naongea nao inafio.
Thank you so much Majibu, and pia wako hapa kwa studio. We have dancers, we have trainers wenye wana train watoi shule. Kwanza wamesema ati they are supposed to be trained by TSC teachers only. We'll find out if that's really what is happening kwa ground. Meanwhile, for now, acha tusikie Kagina with the stats.
Well, today's course starts, tutaanza mbali kidogo. Tutasema tumetafutilia iko language ya mtani. But let's check these. Tuanze na what the government sets apart kwa the Department of Education. Ikifika ni story ya budget. So, on the numbers, tuko na 656.6 billion. Hii ni allocation ya education budget. Alafu hiyo ni around 27.6% ya the national budget. Najua mnajiuliza kwa nini tumeanza na education, but we are headed there. So, TSC upata around 358.2 billion. Hawa ni wale wanasemekana peke yao ndio wanafaa kufunza wanafunzi. And we also have some allocation for basic education. Hiyo ni 142.3 billion. So just looking at how we divide our resources and share our money. Tukuja kwa higher education and research, hao wanapata 128B, but tuko na TVETs wanapata 30.7 billion. Still on the education sector, but we continue. Sasa kuna support for creatives allocation. Hii ni 16.3 billion. Kuna disparity kidogo. Na hii tunaongelea theater, we have graphic design, we have digital animation, fashion, craft, as well as some part of ICT fall under the creative economy, and they are getting that boost. And when we look at the impact now where education is meeting arts, we have one of the largest festivals that attracts about 5 million students get involved in the drama festivals, Kenya Schools and College Drama Festivals, which run from January to April. Na kesho tunangojea finale itakuwa pale State House, Nakuru from 10. But na kuangalia specific county probably ndo tupate context. So hii tushataja, this is the Africa's largest educational theatre event career launchpad. Na sample kuna Miss K hapo, kuna Abel Mutua, kuna name them, na kuna wengi sana tumejeza hapa leo. Kuangalia county level investment kwa hii sector, for example Embu County kwa 2023-2024 budget walikuwa wametenga 50 million shillings aimed at training and capacity building. And not only that, hii pesa pia ilikuwa inafaa kuserve a different purpose, which is supporting upcoming artists. Now upcoming artists, kuna hiyo level yenye wanaanzia kwa TVET, but we have them starting from the primary, high school to the tertiary levels, tukienda juu mpaka university. So we can see the investment in the creative sector is a bit serious, Ms. K. So how then do we find ourselves at a point where we get uncomfortable with part of what is being generated during the creative process? That, I believe, is what we are going to be discussing leo, together with the guests that we have in studio.
All right, Kagina, thank you so much. Mi nimekwamia hapo kwa 50 million na upcoming artists. Kuna upcoming artists with us in the room today. I wonder kama those coins zimewahi wafikia. They'll tell us in a few. For now, let's go to Majibu kwa ground. Tusikie watu wanasema nini huko. Majibu?
Yes, ndoyo Tuesday ndio hii sasa. Wazee tuongee itutoke. Haya, wacha nianze kuongea na wao sasa. Wacha nianze na Bazu hapa hivi, umenyonga tie polite. Nikuulize, gava ina suppress your freedom of expression?
Yes, my name is Martin Matthew, the founder and the president of Upcoming Leaders of Kenya. To your question that gava ina suppress freedom of expression, hiyo hata si swali, hiyo ni fact. The freedom of expression is provided for in the Constitution Article 33, 1, 2 na 3. Hata wanaposema ati it has limitations, let the government stop agitating us to speak. Look at what happened to Butere girls. Look at what happened to Butere girls. These are young girls, school-going girls. Walikuwa tu wana demonstrate peacefully, and therefore they were tear-gassed. That is the freedom of expression we have been given as the citizens of Kenya, of this amazing country. Therefore, the government is suppressing the freedom of expression. And to furthermore, wanasahau ni generation, the Gen Z, the generation of information. Sisi hatujapungukiwa na information. We are not like other generations. Allow me to say this here. Ukiangalia what happened in the 25th June 2025, what agitated the youths to occupy parliament was after the police killed Rex Masai. Let the government stop agitating us to continue more further. The freedom of expression is being suppressed. Thank you.
Wazi. Aya, wacha nibonge na mbaya sana leo, nimeanza na maboys na kuna baby girl. Sawa. Jina ni nani? Atakuja tu. Jina ni nani, alafu na feel gava pia na tu suppress tukijaribu kubonga ama kujaribu criticize gava.
Mimi naitwa Kelvin Simba. Member of Kongamano la Mapinduzi, Voice of the Voiceless. Gava inatu express vibaya sana. Hii gava unajua ni mbaya. First of all, freedom of expression is not a favor from the government. It's our constitutional right. And the more they're silencing the truth, the more fear inatoka na tunaingia kwa street. So gava mali iko inafaa ijue sisi tunakuja, na the more mnakuja na tear gas, the more tunakuja na ubada.
Aya, hiyo hata sijasikia. Wacha nibonge na baby girl. Wacha niende straight kwa ile story ya Butere girls. Niko na mwanadada hapa hivi. Do you think okay, wenye wana oppose gava wamekuja wakasema hiyo story ilikuwa political. Watu wameingizwa kwa story yenye hawafai kuwa. Do you believe so?
Yes, genuinely speaking, the children were just acting, expressing like they're just artistically expressing themselves, right? And then the government feels the need to literally tear gas children who are acting. Like, it doesn't make any sense for a government that has people above the age of 50 to be beefing with teenagers, teenage girls. Like, how deeply is the beef with the government, with the people, to the extent that you feel threatened by a child who hasn't even hit 2 decades of their lives? It's sadistic, it's wrong, it is, I don't want to say patronizing, but it's belittling in every single way. And here we are talking about democracy. Here we are talking about listening to the people. When you are suppressing teenagers, you're already raising a generation that hates you, yet you want to be supported. How? How do you want us to believe you want from the high school level, you're already raising children who are never going to believe that you're a good man? It's very, very contradicting. Very contradicting.
Lakini pia nikuulize, do you believe ile play Echoes of War ilikuwa political in some way?
Yes, it was political in some way, but so are all our set books, right? The set books that we are given in high school, especially the current set books going on, like the Samaritan, definitely talks about a municipality that is oppressed by its own government. So, of course, it goes back to politics because we are trying to raise a generation that's more politically aware. But we're not trying to fight with the politicians. We're trying to ensure that we have a stable generation, that we have a stable future. It's nothing to do with fight. It's nothing to do with war. It's something to do with sustaining our future. It's something to do with making sure that at the end of the day, Kenya is not dead in 30 years. So yes, it was political, genuinely, because we're having political plays, we're having political literature come to light, you know, in our current generation. And it's very, very valid, because if you look at our current political state, we need more minds to be at work. This country needs to be fixed by everyone, from the young to the old. So yes, it was political, and very needly so.
Umetaja setbook manzeni nikakumbuka Mtemi na Sababora. Aya, Bazu, pia wewe tukibonga hiyo story ya freedom of expression, do you feel pia wewe sahi wa Kenya wako free ku criticize gava openly without fear?
Personally, I think that for it to reach the level where even students are disincentivized to actively express themselves and be free about what they learn and what they understand, then we are having a problem as a state. It's clearly showing how scared and how cowardized the government has become. Because if you're literally scared and you fear the real truth coming out just by a simple playbook that basically has been in existence for quite a while, and other plays that have literally repeated the same thing over and over, then the government is a problem. Because you cannot say that this is not a political thing. Our kids, our students, our children, the politics that we actively play in every day involves them. It actually affects them. The economic status of a society is heavily hinged on the political stance a government takes. And if a government cannot be able to listen to its people and understand that the people need this, the people are saying this, then the government is a problem.
No feel government handolaji issue ya Butere girls.
Personally, I think the government should have instead listened introspectively and understood what the message was being said. Because in reality, the idea of art is basically to express and show what society goes through culturally and, societally. So if the government is able to pay attention and go ahead and attack Standard Media Group because Media Group is saying this and this about them every day, then the government should also be able to pay attention and listen to what the students are saying in their syllabus, because their syllabus is what matures them and trains them to be better people of tomorrow. And if what you're giving us is what you're trying to reject of us to use, then what do you want these kids to do? If you tell them that it is your right as a student and as a citizen of the country to actively be, a duly paying citizen, a tax-paying citizen, a citizen who does right. All these are taught in school. And if the school says this and then you come and tell us that what the school is teaching us is bad, it doesn't make sense. And before you take the mic out, I need to be understood that whatever analogy and propaganda the government is trying to make us understand, I don't know, Malala wasn't a teacher of the school, that he wasn't supposed to be there, I don't know this and that. Government needs to understand that the propaganda they want to sell to us, we already know it. We're not buying into it. And Ndwale is nowhere qualified under healthy medical health and care. But here he is apparently, deciding our future in SHA. So is Ipantuya in security, external and internal security. All these people that you literally are shifting and recycling in the cabinet secretary positions are in no way apparently helping us. So you cannot be pointing a finger at Malala, yet your own government is already messed up to the core.
Wazi, wacha nibonge na baby girl kidogo. Bro, sai tunakuja kwako nikuulize. Do you feel wa Kenya pia wako neo courage ya ku speak against these injustices, like wako free say?
I think, yeah, I do think that Kenyans are courageous enough. The problem comes when we're fighting with people who have a sort of higher power than us. And it all boils down to class in terms of political class and also wealth. So if you're fighting with people that are of more wealth, that are of more rank, that are of more status, of course you feel intimidated, because sadly, genuinely, hujakula the whole day and then a politician comes and offers you 5K. Yeah, you're fighting with such people. But I know this for a fact, and I believe this in my heart. The only thing that's stopping Gen Z from rising above the older political class is the wealth and the class. We are smarter, we are more energetic, we are ready. The only thing stopping us is the powers that are behind the older political class, the powers at play and the wealth at play. Otherwise, we are more than courageous, we are more than ready. The only thing that is stopping us is the fact that they're coming with more political power, they're coming with more wealth power, and they're coming with more status. Otherwise, we're very courageous.
Aya, Bazu, kuja hapa hivi pia nikuulize, tunapiga story ya freedom of expression mazee, na kama Wakenya wako governor wa suppress kuja express. Nikuulize, do you feel, swali nimemuuliza, Wakenya are courageous enough kuambia viongozi ukweli?
Yes, they are very courageous, and we have seen they have used different avenues to tell the government that this is how it's supposed to be done. But to surprise us enough, the government that we have is acting as if our constitution is absolute. It's as if we don't have a constitution and a rule of law. They're not ready to listen, but they are ready to do as how they are deemed fit. But what I would like to tell the government, you are governing the people. You are not governing yourselves. The President William Samoei Ruto is not governing anybody else other than the people of Kenya, whom he took to the office and was sworn in using the Bible and said that I will protect the rule of law and protect the people of Kenya, nothing else.
Ashasemeka mtoka. Nirudi kwako Bazu, rais mwenyewe. Nikuulize, previously tumekuwa tukiona ni kitu hiko, mkienda kwa streets ni tear gas, mkichora vibonzo online mnaletwa masubaru. Sasa hiyo watu hiyo wanapigwa wale tear gas juu ya kuact kwa stage. Unadhani ni mbinu gani nyingine wa Kenya sawa wanafaa wa employ kuji express? Waambie gava ukweli, waambie oya Ruto bana shaifanyi kazi.
I think we should continue being bold, and I would like to thank every other citizen, every other Kenyan. Tuendelee tu kuwa bold, kuongea itutoke, tunasema inatutoka. We have seen incidents, tukitokea peaceful demonstrations wanaturushia tear gas. And we have seen also state-sponsored abductions. What we can do as young people and the people of this great Republic of Kenya, what we can do is to engage in more peaceful demonstrations na hatufai kurelent, hatufai punguza boli. We need to continue fighting for our rights. We are not begging for this freedom. This is a freedom provided for in the Constitution. And by the way, let me finish by saying this. When a nation puts or sets aside its constitution, therefore, war breaks. War breaks. There must be the rule of law, and the rule of law must be applied. To all the citizens out there, tuendelee kudemonstrate. Hakuna kuchoka. Kabisa, thank you.
Washasema ikawatoka kama kama kawa kama dawa, majibu ndoyo. Washatoa majibu yao bana. Wanasema serikali ina wananchi, wenye nchi na walanchi. Pia mimi ni msanii mazee. Nakuja studio. Aya Kagina uchukua sukani nakuja lakini.
All right. Tukingoja majibu, we can get to see a few things about what you viewers at home have to say about conversation ya leo, ambayo tumekuwa tukiuliza swali over and over again, tukitaka kujua, is the freedom of suppression, gava ina suppress freedom of expression? Kulingana na wewe, unafeel kama gava ina suppress freedom of expression? So we have Auditor General hapa anasema, I wonder why some people are so bitter and nobody is forcing them to watch. Kuna Kumungong Arab Chepkania anasema, freedom of speech has made some youths lose respect for their elders. Nasema hamna adabu wa mheshimu wazee. Tobias Kipemoy anasema, freedom of expression has limitations. Okay, Tobias. Watatuambia hapa. Christopher Ngesa anasema, tear gas, maandamano, cartoons online na magazetini ilianza na Gen Z. Kuna Shagsan Malo anasema, hakuna freedom. Kama unataka freedom, jua uko karibu na kifo. Ala. Trevor Kimutai anasema, uhuru nayo hakuna. Mtu yoyote ambaye ana nguvu zaidi kuliko katiba. Hakuna mtu ambaye ako na nguvu zaidi kuliko katiba. Okay. Huyo anasema uhuru tunayo. So that is just some of the views from those of you following this conversation mkiwa pale nyumbani. Most definitely tukitoka break ambayo tunaelekea in shortly, we have very interesting panel hapa wamengoja. We have something in store for you. Kuna msanii hapa with freedom to, anataka ku exercise his freedom to express. We'll be having that shortly after this commercial break.
Living proof that we can control so much. And when we like what we see, we go for it.
What are you doing?